Welcome to the Beautiful Step Podcast,
where we
run,
stomp,
tiptoe,
and tango into the confusing
but beautiful
world of togetherness. We are your hosts, Kris
and Charity.
Now, let's go make our together even better. Hey! Come on in,
You
babe.
had fun sliding.
Look at what I did.
I know. This is so fun.
I made us a little studio
Yeah.
in my atelier. And what do you think about
I love it. I do love them. Your little wool. Are those the ones from Ireland?
Yeah,
I like them.
I like their Irish wool.
I like them. And your suspenders. Are those your Harvard suspenders?
Yes, they are.
So fun.
Isn't that fun? Are you excited about today?
Yes.
We are going to give you a tool.
A tool. So
This
that
is
you
such a fun tool.
Can stop letting criticism kill your relationship.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? When you walk away from this, you'll be able to help people. No kidding.
Yeah.
You'll be able to. Okay, let me just back up. Today we are in the studio, our studio.
Uh-huh.
You got a doctorate, so you were like, I have to teach now.
Oh, that's not actually what happened.
It's true, but you're super good at teaching stuff. And we were like, well, if you're going to teach, we need a whiteboard.
Oh, yes, a whiteboard's fun.
And so we're going to draw a matrix for you. Mm-hmm. We're going to do some explaining.
Yeah.
But the coolest part of this is that you can do this for someone else. Like you can just draw this on a napkin. You can draw it on a paper plate. You can draw it on a piece of paper. And it's a really cool tool to help people sort of get some good handle on communication and expectations and all that. Don't you think?
Yeah, because here's the thing. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll get in a space where I'm being really critical. I'm being critical of myself.
This is big of you,
But
babe.
usually... But usually it goes, that same critical self will translate into being critical of other people. Right. And so sometimes I'll just get in that stage where I'm like feeling really critical and I can't even really tell how to get out of it. And I want to say that this tool is really helpful because sometimes I'll reel back and go like, wait a second, with all this confrontation, am I doing any collaboration?
Good. Are you doing any good?
Yeah, like where am I giving a solution?
Right.
Am I a solutions person or am I just a problems person?
Right. So right up front, as we go through the matrix and we work this through, I just want to say, if you're listening to the podcast, you're going to want to watch it.
It might be more helpful to watch.
We'll do our best to explain what we're doing, but yeah, you're going to want to watch it.
Yeah. Okay. So
okay, you ready?
Here's the whole thing. This is about communication.
Yes.
And in a relationship,
yep.
You could have one partner who's really dealing with something and communicates in a certain way, or might be that person that's like the constant critic.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the constant critic in your life, even if you're like, want confrontation, even if confrontation is a good thing and you want to like face the facts and be that person, enough of that and you'll hate the person. Right?
Let's go to the tool.
Enough of it and you'll hate the person.
And we'll show you kind of why, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So
all right,
here's
you
the
ready
deal.
for this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to switch the cameras. I got this whole thing set up. You ready?
Okay.
Go to the drawing board, babe.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Boom. Look at this.
Okay. Real
This is wonderful.
Hi-fi here.
High five.
Hi-fi.
High five. Okay, go.
Okay. I really rudimentarily drew a matrix.
Okay.
So this axis here is collaboration.
Okay.
And by collaboration, we mean, right?
Yeah.
That we are trying to build something together.
Well, okay. You heard the term catalyst, right? So there's this idea of a catalyst, and a catalyst is part A and part B. You have to have two parts in order for a catalyst to become the thing it's supposed to be. So like epoxy is a glue that can only become like super good glue if it has part A and part B. It can't really do the thing. It has to collab.
Yes.
It has to come together.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
It's kind of like the music industry.
You do collabs in the music industry because you're hoping that that person's influence will add to your influence by doing something together, right?
You always become more.
So this is the idea about if you want to become a power couple, like, then you actually are looking for you as a couple to be collaborating on whatever your goals, dreams, your influence, all that stuff. You're much more influential together than you are as just a person.
And you're going to last.
And you're going to last. So the idea is that you want collaboration.
Yes,
you want
you
lots
need
of collaboration. You need to be building towards something.
100%.
Right?
Okay.
But how do you get there towards the building towards something?
Okay, go to the drawing board, Beth.
Okay.
Let's do it. Here we go.
So the other thing about growth is that you do need confrontation. you do need those like, hey, I'm going to bring it to your attention. Hey, we need to deal with this. If you don't have confrontation, you end up being, somebody that basically, can I just use an example? Okay, I just need to use an example really quick. There was a woman in my life not that many years ago, but enough time ago. And she was an unmarried woman, that's totally fine. Okay. Clearly, though, she hadn't had a lot of life experience. Pretty sheltered person. She kind of bulldozed her way into some situations in my life and really just became very, what's the word?
Confrontational?
Yeah. Okay. We'll be nice about it. Confrontational. I had another word for it.
Okay. Don't.
Okay. But she thought actually she had the authority in all of this to confront.
Right.
We didn't have any relationship. And honestly, the thing about it that really pissed me off was there was no invitation to collaborate.
Ooh,
it was basically
really
like
important.
This person was just kind of this really sharp-edged person because she had no one in her life that was actually kind of like rubbing down the edges and going like, oh, that's a little harsh. Like, oh, you probably shouldn't say something to like that. Oh, you're kind of cutting everyone around you. Maybe you should tone it down a bit. There was no one in her life that actually had the authority to do that. So because of it, she just became this really sharp-edged person that really no one liked.
Right.
But she didn't know this. And this is the power of confrontation in your life. You need people that are actually going to be able to confront the stupid stuff you have.
Right. There's a spiritual lesson here too. I mean, even the Bible itself says like, as iron sharpens iron.
Exactly.
So one man's countenance sharpens another.
Yes.
That's the way you sort of stay sharp, right?
And if you've ever been around somebody that's never been checked, everyone wants to flee the scene because who wants to be around a person like that? So you need confrontation and you need collaboration.
Right.
But it's all about the mix.
Yes. And wouldn't you say, let's just say this right here. I would say, yes, you need the mix. But if you're not ready to collab, you're not ready to confront.
Truth. If you don't have the authority to collab, you don't have the authority to confront.
Right. Don't confront unless you are ready to collab. That's like square one.
Right?
Okay.
So
let's go through the matrix.
Let's start there. But it is about the mix. Especially when you're talking about...
It's about the mix, and that's what this is. It's like we're going to show you what the mix looks like on paper.
You're like DJing.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's about the mix.
Okay, go.
All right.
Back to the drawing board.
So in an interpersonal relationship, let's just say a partnership.
Okay.
Right? If you have really high collaboration, I think you're wonderful.
Right.
Let's do it all together. Right. Let's do this thing. If you have that, like really high collaboration, like it's you and me. I say yes to everything you want to do. All of
it's the dream, baby.
But you have really low confrontation. I'm going to say yes to everything you want, and I'm never going to call you on your stuff.
Right. So you're talking high collab, yes.
High collab.
You're talking really low confrontation.
Low or no confrontation. You know what I'm going to call this right now?
Bring it.
Counterfeit.
Ooh.
You have a counterfeit relationship.
Might as well say it.
A counterfeit relationship.
Oh, babe.
You know why? Because it's not going to last. And it's not really real. And it's really short term. Because no one's going to say yes forever without calling you on your stuff.
I know. So here's what I call this.
Unless they're the kind of person that, like, Lord have mercy if you end up with a person like that.
Right. Here's what I call this. I call this the hotel lobby.
Ooh, the hotel lobby.
Because a hotel is not a home.
Right.
It's a hotel.
Yes.
And you kind of have to know the difference.
You
see what I'm saying? Like a hotel, when you walk in, they're going to say yes to everything you want. Mm-hmm. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll do your dishes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to bring you food.
I don't care if you puke next to the bed.
Oh, yeah, you can do whatever. I mean, how many, like, when you're in a hotel, you do some stuff that you would never do at home.
Right.
And no one's going to confront you.
Exactly.
But the problem is, like, you can't make a home in a hotel. You can't stay there forever.
Well, some people try, but you got to kind of question, like, if you want to be in a relationship with that kind of person. And you could stay here.
I heard that drug dealers live in hotels. Like, okay, so if that's where you're going.
This is the beginning of a relationship. Right. This is the dating scene. This is like the perpetual player scene or whatever.
You're never going to confront her bad breath on the first date.
Right. You're just going to like... Oh, you're so beautiful. Unless it's, I mean, but that's counterfeit. We're not talking about long-lasting, real, authentic relationships.
Yeah, this is not the way to being 80 years old on the porch, holding hands and going, man, we really love each other.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Counterfeit.
Okay, counterfeit.
Okay.
Now, are we moving on?
We're moving on.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Let's say you're not really doing much together. You don't really have any goals together. You're not really collaborating on stuff. You're not really lending your influence to each other. You're not really doing stuff together. And you're also not confronting anything.
Okay.
You're just kind of, I'm just going to call this cold.
This? Oh.
I'm just going to call this like cold to the touch. Like dead.
Like the ice queen.
Well, this is where actually there's relationships that fall into this category because you're not really working on anything together. You're not really doing anything together. You're not inviting each other to be a part of your life in a more meaningful way all the time. But you're also not confronting anything.
It's like you don't care enough to even say, hey, you know what? You're better than this. Or there's just no confrontation. There's no collaboration. It's like, I would call it not only cold, but sort of colorless.
Yes.
Right? It's like just this.
Boring.
Yeah. Just.
Run now.
The relevance of the relationship has like gone out the building.
Completely irrelevant and probably is on its deathbed.
And you're asking yourself in this quadrant, you're asking yourself, wait, why am I in this again?
Yeah. We're not really bettering each other. We're not really doing the iron sharpens iron. We're not really working on anything fun together. We're not collabing. We're not calling each other to something higher. We're doing pretty much nothing. Cold to the touch.
Right. You could move on.
You could move on, and you probably should.
Well,
or you should.
We can show you how you go around this thing in a minute. Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll show you.
Kris is trying to save your relationship.
Hey, I'm for you. I love you, okay? All right, let's go back to the drawing board. Next quadrant.
Okay. Now, let's say you have a person that's really high confrontation, and they could view this as a good thing, right?
Of course.
They could view it as a good thing.
Yeah.
They could say, hi, we need to always be looking at this. I'm in it for your good. I need to call this out because don't you want to be a better person? Mm-hmm. All of this stuff. I don't care how they frame it. Lots of confrontation.
Confrontation. Yes.
Okay. But low collaboration. Meaning they're not really telling you how you can build together with that confrontation. Right. This is the person who like says the hater remark, but then doesn't give any like, hey, but let's change.
No solution.
Let's change together. The no solution person.
Yeah, there's no collab in their heart. What do you call this one?
I'm going to call this contempt.
Oh!
Here's why. They're looking down on you. They're looking down on you and they're saying, I know better. I'm going to tell you what's wrong. But then they're not offering any way to like fix it.
You know, contempt is that thing of looking down from above with scorn. Ooh. That's what that feels like.
In fact,
when someone's talking about, I'm just confronting, but they have done no collab.
Yeah.
That feels top-down scorn.
Yes.
That's so stressful.
There's no way to grow out of that. It's
like, why are you continually confronting me?
It's contempt. You start to be contemptuous of the person. You start to really hate each other because you're like, you're just picking at me all the time and you're not really giving me anything to fix it with. You're not really giving me any like ups with the downs.
Right. You can have friends like this. You can have bosses like this. You can have coworkers like this. You can have, partner, spouse like this. Like it's.
And it could be, right? It could be in a relationship where you have somebody like I mentioned before, the lady before, where she really didn't have the authority to even be confronting, which didn't give her the authority to collab. And so it was just she just didn't know her place.
Right.
Or you could have a relationship situation, which is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Where each other's most deepest, darkest things that are wrong with you.
You can dig deep.
You can dig, you can point, you can confront, you can do all that stuff to the most powerful nth degree.
Yeah.
But if you're not also to the most powerful nth degree inviting change and figuring out solutions together to the problems, then you end up in a contemptuous relationship. And here's the thing about contemptuous relationships. The Gottman Institute says they are the #1 indicator of a divorce.
With 91% accuracy, he can predict whether or not you're going to get a divorce just by rolling eyes and stuff.
By hearing contempt. And actually,
you can watch one conversation and be like, this isn't going to last.
And contempt,
you start rolling eyes, it's lighting the fuse on blowing the whole thing up.
The contempt comes like this. the rolling the eyes, like, oh, you drive me crazy, or like that continual like little jabs all the time.
You have no idea how hard it is to be in a relationship with you, like that kind of stuff.
Can I just say, like, I watch TikTok videos sometimes, and I find a lot of videos where the couples, like, one of them is constantly talking about like how stupid the other one is, or whatever else. And that is so disturbing to me. One, that we're entertained by it, but two, that's like you're just looking at really miserable people who are hateful to someone else.
Yeah, don't take advice like that.
Yeah.
Don't model your relationship.
No.
Really.
And don't show your kids that. Do not show your kids that.
No. I would have, there's a, like, it's I would say, a hidden rule, an unspoken rule that between us, we've never are contemptuous.
No.
Ever. Like, that's so off limits, really.
No.
Like, you're stupid, none of that.
No, and we definitely, like, in front of your kids.
Confrontation is not contemptuous.
Right. So if you're doing that confrontation and you're not inviting collaboration, you're that kind of person, you're kind of basically saying, I don't really want to work things out with you. I just want to point out the things about you that I don't like.
Exactly. I've got a list of stuff I'm going to bitch about for a while.
Yep.
And you're going to hear it, and I'm going to feel better.
But the other person's going to feel terrible. Yeah. So listen.
It's not productive.
That leads to...
It's not productive.
Tons of contempt, and really will be the demise of your relationship if you keep on that route. If you don't invite change...
I love it.
And you don't invite them to participate in making that change, you're just going to end up with contempt.
Okay, so let's go on.
Here's the breakthrough category. This is where you want to be. This is where you want to be, right here. This is the power couple category. Okay. You have lots of confrontation. You have lots of confrontation, but you also have lots of collaboration. Here's what I mean by this. You are working towards things together. You're growing together, but you're also dealing with your stuff along the way. You're having the hard conversations. You're challenging each other. You're doing all of those things.
Charity, what's the word?
Well, it's kind of a boring word, but I will say it creates long-lasting relationships.
It's credible.
It's credible. Here's what we mean.
This is a relationship worth laying your life down for.
This is how you get to power couple status. Yeah. When you are credible, because you back up the confrontation with what you can do about it. You're a solutions couple.
Absolutely.
You're working on stuff together. This is where you get to the point where you're like, this is breakthrough. We can actually go somewhere because we talk about stuff, we deal with it. We're also building towards things. We're not afraid of that. We're not going to be stuck in the like counterfeit category. We're not going to be stuck in the cold category where we just simply don't try anymore. We're not going to be stuck in the category where it's like one person's just bitching at the other person all the time, offering no change. We're going to be in the category where we're always looking to be a credible force.
You should hear things like what Charity has said to me multiple times.
What is this?
You make me want to be a better woman.
I don't.
You've said it.
Okay,
right?
Maybe I've said.
Or you make me a better woman.
Yes, maybe I have always said that. You make me a better person, because I know that he's going to call me on my stuff, but I also know that he's going to work with me on stuff. He's going to work with me towards things. And that
I hate you, but I love you. You know what I mean? Like, it comes to that point where I'm like, oh, I hate it when you do this, but it's so good for me.
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah. So you want to be in this category right here.
I love that.
So
let's do a quick, so here's what I want to try to do. Can I have the pen and then you push the button for the camera? Okay, what are you doing?
Okay, hang on.
Wait, we're going to...
Can you see this? Or am I out
can't see it up there.
I'm writing.
Okay, it says credible
conversations.
Just write it across the... Here, I'll just do it there. Let's both stand back here and it'll focus.
I don't think...
Credible conversations.
It's too light, but oh well.
I love it.
What you want is credible conversations.
Here's the move. Here's the move. Check this out,
Do you want the blue pen?
No. Oh yeah, give me the blue pen. I want to do a really quick, just a helpful... This is a thing that you can do when you're in the bar and your friend's like, well, then what do I do if I'm stuck? Watch. I'll show you.
Oh.
So if you're in this category, let's just say, there's really...
Which category are you in right now?
I'm in the cold category.
Okay, meaning...
So if you say, look, there's really no confrontation, there's really no collaboration, like, she doesn't really care enough to even call me out, and, I'm not super into her. What you could do, if you don't want to give up, is you can go, okay, well, which one of these do I add?
I love it.
It's super simple. Or, here, if you're in the contemptuous category, which many times, especially when you first start out, or like your second year, or maybe sometimes it hits at the 7, and sometimes it hits at the 2. But
year mark.
Yeah, you'll hit it, and it'll be like contemptuous, and so now you have a tool to go. Okay, look. Confrontation. You know what you need to add, babe?
Collaboration.
A little bit of collaboration. Let's get all the way. Go ahead.
Meaning, we're inviting each other to do things about it.
Stop confronting me if you're not gonna, collab with me, right?
Yes.
And then here's the other one. Like, if you feel like, oh my goodness, this is becoming irrelevant. I love how cozy we feel, and I love how hotel we feel. Because
we're doing stuff together, we're agreeing all the time, but we're not confronting on anything.
Right. If you're in a counterfeit, all you have to do is just kind of move it over here by what, Chair?
By adding confrontation.
So it's really fun. Like, you can actually show people, like, hey, if you're in the contempt, maybe you need to, sort of add a little bit of that collab. Or if you're cold, what about starting out with some, collab? Let's do something together.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Like, let's be honest with each other. Whatever those things are. You can move these quadrants around. And it's really up to you how much effort you want to put into it.
Yeah.
How smart you can be. How much you know each other's language. But I love this tool because this is a tool that not only you can use, but you can teach it.
Yes, it's just really helpful.
Isn't that fun?
So that when I get in those stages, like I was talking about earlier, where I might feel just like really critical, I can just go, oh, Charity, just add some collaboration. And you'll probably work your way out of this. You'll probably work your way out of this state of mind where you're like, hey, I need to be, instead of like, I need to replace this confrontation right now with some like, hey, how about we go do this, which will maybe address that issue that I'm, doing that.
Yeah, maybe I'm being a little critical of you, and I need to offer you some help in this.
I love that. Knowing when to ask for help is huge.
Oh,
if you find that you're like in a critical state or someone's criticizing you, the best thing is to be like, the best collaboration is to say like, hey, how can I help you do that?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
What's the fastest way I can help you do that?
I love it. That's so good. And you know what else I love? The way that you pronounce criticizing. You did. You said it. You said, if someone is criticizing you, which is great.
I didn't even know I was doing that.
I'm challenging. See, this is it. I'm making you a better person.
Okay, now how are you like inviting me to collaborate on changing the way I say criticizing?
I'm saying, I like the way you do it.
He's not saying that.
I challenged you right there. It's fun. You're wonderful.
Okay.
Well, hopefully this tool has helped. We appreciate you guys, and we're excited. We're putting together some classes that are going to even be more in depth than all of these different types of tools that you can download and you can
have worksheets
have access
and
to,
like exercises to go through together and stuff.
We're coming along. Started from the bottom. We're almost there.
All right. Have a good day.
Have a good day, guys. Babe, wait! How do we end this?
By saying thank you.
Okay, you guys are awesome. Thank you. There's nothing more encouraging than you hitting that like button and commenting.
And don't forget to subscribe.
And I know there's more. You have a list. Might as well go down the list.
Right. Okay. Watch the video of this podcast on our Beautiful Step YouTube channel or on our website where you can actually download transcripts and show notes of the episode. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
If today's episode made your together even better, tell someone.
Okay, now.
Right now.
Today.
Okay.
You can take one step.
It's just one step.
Toward the beautiful relationship you want in your life.
You got this.